Gentlemen, day 14 of the long distance relationship. So everything's going pretty good. I mean, we speak on the Skype every day and we chat and we do all that sort of stuff as well. But it actually got me thinking. We assume that the hardest part of going on one of these missions or these journeys is actually finding someone. And that is pretty hard, of course. But we have to take into consideration the long distance part that's going to follow shortly after that. And I had never actually really thought about it too much. I just thought, oh yeah, you just sort of fall in love and then it would just sort of happen. But we have really no idea how long this part is going to take. And it got me thinking about, how do you make it work? How do you make a long distance relationship work? So I started doing some research on it and trying to figure out why people had failed and what things are going to make it be successful. So I think one thing that's important is I want to have contact with Valentina every day. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to ring her every moment of the day or anything like that, but because we are so far apart, I believe that it's going to be important to keep that sense of closeness together. And even if it's just a text message or something along those lines, or something on Facebook or something like that, because then you're always going to feel like you're still in each other's lives. I could imagine if I didn't hear from her for like a week, I would be wondering what she's doing, and she'd be thinking the same thing about me as well. So I think the key is going to be communication, but you don't want to be so overbearing that you're just going to annoy people, okay? So I think it's just, I mean, for us it's good at the moment. We talk pretty much every day. Sometimes she's busy, sometimes I'm busy, and that's just the way that life is. And this is what I said to her the other day, that if there's anything that she's upset about, or anything that I'm upset about, is to communicate that to her. Because if you let it go and you think, it could get worse. And the situation that we're in is not a normal one. In your own town, if there's a problem, you can just go around and see them and have a cup of coffee or whatever, and then everything is going to be fine. Here, you can't do that. And plus, there is also the language barrier and the cultural barrier as well. So you have to be careful that you don't accidentally step outside that, because you could easily do it and things could turn pretty bad pretty fast. And I would imagine that if something goes wrong, it's a slippery slope to try and fix it. So I think the key here is to just have communication. If I think if something she's done is not right, I'm going to tell her. And I have asked her to do the same thing as well. And then you can quickly just go, no, you can tell her, it was a mistake. I didn't mean this, or I didn't mean that, or I didn't understand, or something like that. And you can fix it straight away. So that's my thoughts for the day. If you do get to this stage, and I hope that you do, I think that it is important to keep that communication there. I'm sort of lucky because she can speak very good English. If she didn't speak English, you might have a bit of trouble there. So I think it is important to really try and set some guidelines of how you're actually going to do this and what you're going to do when, I'm not saying if something goes wrong, I'm saying when something goes wrong, because that way you're safe. If anything happens, you can quickly fix it. The other thing that you're going to have to instill in both parties is trust. So you're going to have to trust her as much as she's going to trust you. So that's something that you hopefully already have for each other. If you don't have trust for each other, this part I believe would be very, very hard. Especially things with like social media, Instagram, Facebook, all these things just seem to go wrong all the time for people. Someone's posted something, someone's commented on her page, one of your friends who's a female has commented and put a thing on your page. It means nothing, but she might get upset by it. So I think it's important to try and avoid those situations if you can, but have something in place in case something like that happens, and have that line of communication where you can say to her, was upset that this guy sent you flowers and you posted them on Facebook. I think it's okay to say that if you lay the groundwork first. If you don't lay the groundwork first, I think it could be very easy for a misunderstanding to happen. So thoughts for the day 14, all's going well. We're just waiting on Valentina's new passport to arrive, and then she's going to go and organise a visa. So I'm sure it's not going to be a problem. It's New Zealand. Everybody can come to New Zealand.